Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Hello and welcome to this next episode of Greatest Hits. Webisode, podcast-isode of Greatest Hits HTSS, which stands for How to Social Sell. Today, I have got a special guest with me today who is Brian. And I'm Bing, so we've got the B's here in the room. So Brian, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Adobe?
Sure, yeah. So my name is Brian Benson. I'm a program manager supporting our enterprise sales team here at Adobe. Specifically, and why I've been invited as a guest on this illustrious podcast is I support our social selling effort through LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So it's a tool that we've leveraged with our global sales team to help them be more productive and build more pipeline.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what are we specifically talking about today as it relates to what we're March 21st, 2019. Right. What's coming up around the corner?
So next week is our Adobe Summit Conference, which is a huge customer event for our digital experience business that is going to be awesome. It's in Las Vegas. It's from the 24th to the 6th or something like that.
Something like that. Mm-hmm.
Tuesday to Thursday next week. You can look it up later.
If you're going, you know the dates. You'll be in Vegas.
Yeah. And one thing that we really want to encourage for our sales teams is to leverage the social selling tools that they have available to themselves for the conference, because this is the biggest business generating event for our sales team for digital experience for the entire year. So we want to make sure that they are armed to the teeth with everything that can help them drum up business.
Right. So what is one thing specifically as it relates to LinkedIn Sales Navigator? What is the very first thing that our sellers should be doing before they even hit the ground running in Vegas?
Right. Pre-work before you even get to the conference, one very important step you should be taking is downloading the LinkedIn Sales Navigator app on your smartphone. This is table stakes for any sort of conference or customer event where you really won't have sustained access to your laptop. When you're running from customer meeting to session to lunch, this is a great way for you to keep track of who you're meeting with, be able to quickly reference their profile. You can sync your calendar from Outlook or Google Calendar to see exactly who you're meeting with. And it's a nice little refresher as you're moving from meeting to meeting. And it's gonna make you sound very smart and informed with every interaction you have.
So what is the importance of syncing your calendar and then also being able to have access to the people in which you're meeting? So
syncing your calendar, the big thing that it does is every participant that's listed on your agenda for each meeting, LinkedIn will then go query if that person has a profile on LinkedIn, and it'll pull it up and include a little thumbnail of it on the meeting invite. So when you're in the Sales Navigator app, not only will you see I'm meeting with these three individuals, but you're going to see the profiles for those three individuals. So you're going to see exactly what their title is, the description of their title, and you can even try and leverage some personal information about them, whether it's where they went to school or activities or causes they're interested in. It just gives you that kind of inside edge to have those talking points going into your meetings. And
I think specifically too, if your prospects and customers have been recently mentioned in the news, or if they've been posting activity on LinkedIn, how can you kind of further engage and do a little bit more digging to bring those up kind of natively in conversations as you're passing by them in the hallways or like in meetings specifically, and just having that kind of like immediate connection with them. And ultimately I would say that people want to feel seen and heard, right? And people do end up posting a lot of stuff about their kind of like their preferences, but then also a lot of their frustration and grievances online. And so it's like we're sitting on this treasure trove of gold. How do we as sellers tap into all of those insights that people are literally throwing out into the social universe for us to be listening to and engaging with? And then, for example, right, Game of Thrones last season, what's up, is happening soon, right? In next month?
Yeah.
Right? So if somebody's really into Game of Thrones and you're on social, you're hearing their excitement and buzz about it, that could be something in passing that if you're a Game of Thrones fan, that could be something that you could just like kind of throw in there and have a much more authentic connection and genuine connection to be able to talk about.
Absolutely. I mean, I always kind of hold to the tenet that people only post about things they care about. Nobody's posting about things they don't care about. So if someone has shared an article or blasted something to their network that they're willing to attach their name to and say like, this is what I'm reading and what I'm interested in, like that's a pretty good indicator that you should also be tapped into that type of content, so that when you do eventually have an interaction with that person, you already know where their head's at and maybe what their objectives are from a business standpoint, from a personal interest standpoint, and it just it gives you that little extra edge, I think, with showing that you know your customer maybe more than you would just through a kind of standard business sales practice.
Cool. So that's before getting on the site. The next piece?
So now that you're on site, one thing that we really want to encourage this year at Summit is trying to get our reps more active with what they're sharing on their Sales Navigator, on their Twitter, through their different social platforms. And we have set up a streamlined system for our reps to be able to be delivered and teed up content at the end of every day of the conference. So through different groups at Adobe, whether it be our PR and comms team, our industry strategy team, our solution BU groups, everybody is tapped into sessions that are relevant to their groups, content, interviews, external articles, all things that would be good sources of content to reshare on social platforms. So we want to aggregate all those in one place. So at the end of every day in the conference, the social selling distribution list, the DL, will be sending an email out to our sales organization, and it's going to have all of these assets organized by whatever content that may be within. So whether it's a general Adobe post, if it's an industry-specific post, if it's a solution-specific post, all this will be laid out. So all you have to do as a sales rep is copy, paste, if you want to share it to your newsfeed. If you have customers that aren't in attendance at the conference that you know this material is relevant to them, you can put it in a point drive so that you can share with them and see, when they've accessed it, or you can just share it, through normal email or InMail. But we want to make it as easy as possible for you to get kind of more active in sharing content to your network, to your customers, especially taking advantage, like I say, of ones that weren't able to make it to Summit, so that they still feel like they've been kept in the loop and included in some of the exciting news that we'll be sharing throughout the conference.
What do you think about people who aren't able to attend? Do we want part of this to kind of incite that FOMO, that like they should have come to the conference but haven't, but we're also able to still continue to be part of the action even post Summit?
Oh yeah, I mean, if we're able to send out content about Drew Brees and Reese Witherspoon and
who's
Mindy Kaling.
Yeah, Mindy Kaling is doing sneaks this year. How awesome is that?
Like, if you didn't take your invite to go show up to see that, I don't know what you were thinking. Like, those are awesome guests. It's gonna be a great session. So, absolutely, I think not only from a business issue and business challenge perspective, where we're trying to show like, hey, here's the value our solutions provide, but also just showing like the kind of support that our business has from very well-known icons in media and entertainment and sports and technology. Obviously, CEO of Microsoft is going to be there on stage with Shantanu.
High school BFFs.
High school buds, chatting it up about where they've gotten to in life. So it's going to be a great opportunity to, bring new customers, old customers, everybody into the fold with what are the newest kind of happenings at Adobe, and it's going to be a really cool event.
Any last thoughts on Summit and what our sellers need to be doing straight away?
Really just prepare for your meetings, I think, would be my number one suggestion. Is if you have folks going who you aren't connected to, try and connect with them on LinkedIn. It's a really obvious opportunity to do so. If you can't get to that step, at least be saving them as a lead or tracking their activity on LinkedIn, as being mentioned earlier. Know what they're sharing, know what their background is. Like one of our sales managers says, if you're not geeking out on your customers and their accounts and the executives there, then you aren't getting the full picture of how to solve their particular business challenges. So that's definitely a big piece, is get excited about who you're meeting with. plan out your sessions effectively. Make sure that you are coordinating your itinerary with where your customers are going, especially if you have an opportunity to recommend sessions for them. I think that's a good way to demonstrate value and make sure they're getting the most out of their time at the conference. And then while you're on the ground, I think leveraging your app, I think that's going to be a lifesaver. I know it sounds like kind of a basic piece, but it's going to be a really good way to stay on top of all the people you're meeting with, new people that you're connecting with on site at the conference. So
it's a great way to kind of start building that community, right? That aspect and like the sharing your points of view on what's happening on main stage, some of the sessions that you'll be going to, that you'll be kind of chaperoning your customers and prospects to, and building that online community and building that that brand equity, if you will, and that like sense of connectedness in that conference. And the summit is a great way to do that, especially in this social environment.
Absolutely, and especially after the conference too. Make sure you're following up. That's a big piece too. So if there are people you met with, make sure you're sending messages after the conference, kind of recapping what was shared, what's relevant to them, recaps for customers that couldn't make it. I think there's an opportunity to kind of have a consistent message both before, during, and after the conference throughout. Yeah.
And make it fun, right? Make it fun for yourself, make it fun for others. Pictures and videos always perform so much better than just plain text. Mm-hmm. So you've got a mobile phone, mobile device, take pictures, take videos, and have a great time. So, the 3 G's that I got out of this conversation is get excited, right? We've got geek out on your customers using LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Get the app today on your phone, and then also just go and get it, right?
Yeah.
Go and have a great time. So thanks Brian for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you
here
for having
on
me.
Greatest HTSS, which is HTSS, that stands for How to Social Sell. And stay tuned for more episodes coming. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Loved it. Boom. All right, so fam, we'll see you soon, and see you on the next episode.
All right.